Hello all, welcome to my channel. I am Vivek Gaurav and I'll be teaching you dynamic programming. And before we proceed further, a humble request from my side. Please like and subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell icon so that you get notified every time a new video is coming up. Now, let's get started.
Today we are going to talk about Python string functions, and the topics we are going to cover today is that what is the string, what are the Python string functions. We'll be looking at some examples and we'll be doing the hands-on. So again, I will request you to do the hands-on with me, pause the video from time to time and do the practical when I'm showing it to you. Okay, so in the earlier video we already talked about what is Python string. So Python string is the collection of characters surrounded by the single quote, double quote or triple quote. So you can write a string in the form of like this, you can write something like this using single quote. Okay, this also is going to work. You can write something like this also is going to work, and you can write something like this also, and all of them are going to work equally for you, right? All the three things can work out. Okay, so the computer does not understand the characters internally. It stores manipulated characters as the combination of 0 and 1. We talked about ASCII value, right? We talked about ASCII value, and each character is encoded in the ASCII or the Unicode character. So we can say that Python strings are also the collection of Unicode characters. And in Python, strings can be created by including the character or the sequence of character in the quote using single quote, double quote or triple quote. Right, we already talked about example like str is equal to hi Python. There we are including it in double quote, and if we check the type of the variable str using a Python script like print type str, it is going to give us str. Okay, let me just quickly show you once again so that you can have a better idea about it. So let's suppose I am writing str1 equal to Vivek, and then if I use the type function for that, print type str of 1, then what it is going to give me is that it is going to give me class str. You can see the output as class str is coming over here, right? So this is how it works, and you can use, single quote, double quote, triple quote. If I write like this, let me just copy the whole thing and then paste it one more time and then paste it one more time. Okay, here I'm using single quote, and this also is going to work. Okay, this also is going to work, and here I can use triple quote, and this also is going to work. Okay, so now if I run this code, you see for all the cases it is going me str. Okay, so this is how you create a string in Python. Going ahead and talking about the first function in string, which is capitalize. So Python capitalize method converts the first character, okay, first character of the string into uppercase without altering the whole of the string. So only the first character is going to get converted into the uppercase with the help of capitalize method. Okay, it changes the first character only and skips the rest of the string unchanged. How do you use that? The method is capitalize. There is no parameter is required over here, and it returns a modified string. Have a look at the example. So here we are doing is that str is equal to Vivek Gaurav, all of them in lowercase. I have taken another string equal to str dot capitalize. Okay, and now what it is giving me is that if I print the old str here, and if I print the new str2 which I have created after using the capitalize method, so you can see that the first character has become capital letter. Okay, so let me take you to the editor and do the work for you. So here let me make it small, and then what I will do is that I'll write str2 equal to str1 dot capitalize. Okay, and then if I try to print str1, okay, and then I try to print str2, and then you will see that Vivek has become capital, V has become capital. You see here, can you see the first one str1, when we printed it gave me a small v. In the second case the v is coming as capital. Okay, let us try to do with something different so that you can understand. Instead of Vivek, let me write Python there. Okay, and now run the code. Now you can easily see the difference. Can you see the difference now? P, small p and capital P. If that is also not visible, then I'll write apple there. A, small a and capital A can easily be distinguished, right? Now you can see it clearly. This is small a, this is capital A, and you can see only the first character has become capital, rest of the string is as it is. Okay, so the capitalize method only changes the first character into the uppercase. Looking at the another example, so here what if the character already exists in uppercase? If the character already exists in uppercase, then what it do is that it returns the same string without any alteration. So here you see Vivek Gaurav is V is already in capital letter, the first character. So when I am doing it, str2 is equal to str dot capitalize, it is giving me the same string without doing any changes. Okay, let us go there and write the code. So here let me make A as capital, Okay, and now you see it is not going to do anything different, right? It is just going to give me the same string because already the first character is capital in both the first string, and when I use str2 is equal to str1 dot capitalize, already a was capital, so it did not make any change in that, and it gave me the same string as before. So this is how the capitalize method work if the string is capital, already capital, the first string, the first character is already capital. Now, what if the character is a digit or non-alphabet character, right? You can have something like, something like this, hash Vivek Gaurav. So what it is going to do? So this method does not alter the character if it is other than a string character. So if your first character is not a string, it is not going to do anything. Have a look at this example. Str is equal to hash Vivek Gaurav. The first character is a hash, it is not a character. And when we try to do str2 is equal to str dot capitalize, okay, we are going to get the same output. No, nothing different will be there. Okay, another example we have taken where we have taken a number 1 hyphen Vivek Gaurav, and then we are trying to capitalize this, we are going to get the same value, right? It is not going to capitalize, it is not going to make any changes in that. So let us go over there and make the changes. So here let me write hash first, okay, and then try to run this code. So you see it did not make any changes. Can you see that? It did not make any changes, right? Rest of the thing is still the same. Okay, if I write as a small a over there, then you see what happens. You see it is giving me this exactly the same thing, right? So this character, this function, capitalize function, changes only the first character, the rest of the string remains unchanged. Now there is one more thing. If you have noticed here, you see I gave the str1 as hash apple, right? Hash apple, e was capital, but when I'm using str like str1 dot capitalize, you see the output what I'm getting. I'm getting a as a small. So only the first character it tried to change. If it found that it is not a character, so the remaining thing it converted into a small, into a lowercase. Let me try to write, let me try to write apple all in capital letter, and let's see now how does it work. Can you see? It converted everything into small letter. So this is another insight that you got to know now, right? The first character will be capital, rest everything will, it will turn into a small thing. Okay, what if I change it to a number? Like here I do like this, what it will do? So here also it is going to do the same thing. Since the first character is not a string, is not a character, what it is going to do is that it will keep the first character as it is, and the remaining thing it will convert into a small, into a lowercase. Okay, so that's how it works. Talking about the second method, which is center method. So Python center method aligns the string to the center by filling paddings to the left and right of the string. Okay, it gives some padding to the left and the right of the string so that your string can come in the center. And this method takes two parameters. First is the width, like how much you want to, like 20 character, 10 character, what is the width. And second is the fill character, which is optional. Fill character basically means with what character you want to fill up the spaces that you have given. Okay, and the fill character, the fill char is a character which is used to fill the left and the right padding of the string. So the signature is center, and then you give the width, and then after comma you write the fill char, which is optional. So width is a required thing, fill char is optional thing, and return type is that it returns the modified string. So have a look at this. So here we wrote hello, welcome Vivek, hello Vivek Gaurav, and then we are calling the str center function. Str2 is equal to str dot center and 20. So what we are trying to do basically here is that here hello Vivek Gaurav, when I have written hello Vivek Gaurav, how many spaces it is taking? Let us calculate that. So when I wrote like this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11, then 12, then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right now I have given here 20. So what it will do is that it will insert some character at the beginning, it will insert some character at the end. And since we have not passed the second character, we did not pass the second character, so by default it will take spaces. Okay, so let us go there and try it out. So here what I will do is that let us use this only, and here I will write fill okay, center, not center. Okay, and in the center I will give a space as 20. Okay, now you see what happens. Can you see it is coming here, and there is some space which is left here, right? So it aligned it in the center. If I'll make it 10, then you see how it works. It will align it, it left a space in the one space at the before. Okay, so it aligned it in the center. Second thing is that what if I put a asterisk over here? What if I put a asterisk over here? Then what it will do? Then you see it is filling up it with the with the second character that we have given. Okay, so the padding which earlier was a space, when we have not given that, now it has become that character which we have provided. Okay, so this is what we are talking about here. We are providing the padding character, optional parameter as hash. In our case we provided with asterisk, and it printed that. So hello Vivek, if I do, okay, let us go there and write hello Vivek, and let us see how it works. So here if I give hello Vivek, and instead of asterisk, let us try to put dollar, and let's see how it works. So can you see? Okay, I should give 20 because 10 was smaller. Now you see it is filling up that with the dollar symbol. So how many dollars are there? We have $4 at the beginning and we have $5 at the end. Okay, so it aligned the string in the center by giving padding with the character that we have provided as the second parameter. So this is how it works. Okay, so this is the third example. Here what we are doing is that if str equal to hello Vivek, then what we are doing is that we are writing str2 equal to str.center 20 comma hash. Otherwise we are writing 20 comma exclamation mark. Now here you see this string that we have given, there it is O, but here we have mentioned 0. So it is, the condition is going to be false, it is going to go into the else part, and we are going to go with the, we are going to get the exclamation mark. Okay, so with the if condition also, if you have to use, you can use that. So what we can do is that here we can write, okay, let me go over there and write if str1 equal to hello Vivek. Now instead of hello, what I have done is that, okay, let me write hello, but I have made v as a small. Okay, now you see what it does. So here what I will do is that, and here what I will do is that I'll write the else part, and instead of dollar I'll put a star. Now you see what happens. Okay, can you see it is printing star? Why? Because it is going into the else part. If I make this v as capital, then I'll get as dollar only, okay, so this is how you can use it with the if condition also. Okay, I hope that things are getting clearer now. The next method is the count method. So it returns the number of occurrences of substring in the specified range. So if you want to find the occurrence of a particular substring in a string, then you can use the count method, and it takes 3 parameters. The first is a substring, second a start index from where you want to start, and the third is the last index of the range where you want to finish. Now start and end both are optional. The substring is the required parameter, the start and end are optional. Okay, the signature is count, sub, start, end, and the parameter required is that substring, which is a required parameter. Start is optional, end is optional, and the return type is that it returns number of occurrence of a string. Okay, so it returns you an integer value. Let us have a look at an example. So here we have str is equal to hello Vivek Gaurav, and then we are using str2 is equal to str.count, and we are trying to find the occurrence of a. So what will we get? How many times a is coming? A is coming 1 and 2. So we got output as 2. Okay, so let us go over there and write the code. So I'll remove this part. Okay, and here I will write str2 is equal to str1.count. Okay, and here I will give let us give e. So e is coming 2 times, right? So we should get 2. Print the occurrence of e in str1 is, okay, and here I will write str2. Okay, now you see if I run this code, can you see I'm getting 2, right? If I change e to o, then what I will get? AO is coming only once. What if I try to give something which does not exist, like z? Okay, then what happens? It gives you 0 because it does not exist into that. Okay, so this is how the count method works. The count is a very important one. Okay, so now the second example, here you see we have given str is equal to a, b, b, c, c, a, d, e, d, a, d, d, a, a, b, b, c, c, a, and then we are trying to count a. Okay, and we have not given the start and the end, so it is start from the beginning and continue till the end. So how many times a is coming? 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6, and this is what it is giving us. Okay, so this is how it works. Now let us talk about with the other parameter, the start index. So here you see we have the same string, but here this time when I am calling the count method, I am giving a comma 3. So basically I am giving that you start from the third, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3. It is going to start from here, so this a will not be counted. So 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. So it is giving you 5. Okay, let us try to run the same code over there. So here I'll give, I'll write e, but I will tell him that you count from the third index onward. You count from the third index onward, so it is going to give me only 1. If I'll remove this 3, it is going to give me 2. Why? Because E is coming 2 times in the whole string. But the moment I write there 3, the moment I write there 3 or okay or something, any other starting range, that this one is not coming, right? This one is not, this is not getting included because it is starting from the second letter onward or the third letter onward, whatever index we have provided here. So this is how the start thing works. Next, giving about all the 3 parameters, so the ending also. So here you see we have given A, we are trying to find the count of A starting from the third and ending at 8, okay? And then you see starting from the third is from here onward, so 1, and then we are going to get only 1. Why? Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it is going to end over here itself. So in between you are just finding 1, okay? So let us go there and write the code for this also. So let me try to find with starting from 3 and ending at 5. Now do you find anything, any E between 3 and 5? Okay, let me write it for you here like this. So we have written hello Vivek, this is what we have written. Now look at the index, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then 10, right? So if I starting from 3 and 5, so 3 and then ending at 5, there is no E in between, right? There is no E in between. So what will I get is that I will get 0 as the output, okay? I'll get 0 as the output. Can you see I'm getting 0 as the output? If I increase it to 10, right? If I increase it to 10, then what I should get? I should get 1 occurrence because that is there once. Okay, so this is how the starting index and the ending index you can give. Now let us try to see whether that is inclusive or not. So if I give 9 there, will it include? Okay, if I give 9 there, is it going to give me 1 or it is going to give me 0? It is going to give me 0. So the ending index is exclusive, that is not included, okay? Or let us try to make it simple. Let us try to just keep there Python, okay? And there what I will do is that now when I write Python, what are the characters, what is the string indexing there? P Y T H O N. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what I will do is that I'll start with 0 and will go till 4, and let us see if it is giving me anything for 4 or not. Okay, 0 and 4, and I'll try to find O. Okay, I'll try to find O. Can you see I'm getting 0? If I write there 5, then it is going to give me 1. It is going to give me 1 now. It means what? It means when I wrote 4 there, it was not incoming. This was not coming. So the upper range, the end index is not inclusive. Okay, it is not inclusive. It will not go and look for there also, it will stop there. Okay, this is something that we need to understand. Okay, so that was all about count method. And then we have another example over here. It can count non-alphabet characters also. Like here you see, here we have given a string where we have alphabet along with the numbers. Okay, and then we are trying to find 2. So how many times 2 is there? 1, 2, 3. So it is giving you 3. So let us have a look over there. Go there and write one Python, and here also I will write 1, and here instead of O, what I will do is that I'll try to find 1, and you see must be string. Okay, so let me put it inside the inverted comma and check if I am getting it. So now I am getting 2 times. Why? Because I started with 0 and ended at 5. Okay, if I'll remove all of these starting and the ending index, then I will get 3, then it will give me 3, right? And otherwise if I want to start, let's suppose I want to start with 1, okay, and ending I am leaving it blank, then it will give me 2. If I want to end at something, let's suppose I want to end at 7, okay, now you see what is giving me. Now also it is giving me 1, because when I wrote 1 Python like that, when I wrote 1 PYT1HON, so here it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, now we started from 1, ended at 7. So we started from 1, here we started. Okay, so far there is no 1, there is 1, 1, so it counted this one, and then 7, it is stopped here. So in between you see there is only 1, 1, that is the reason it is returning you only 1. Okay, if I'll put 8 over there, then also it is going to give me 1, because 8 is not going to get included. Okay, if I put 9 there, then it might give us 2, right? So this is how the works. So it can count non-alphabet character also. Okay, so now in the next video we will talk about some more string functions. Thank you so much.